answer is no. No, you don't get to. Sorry. Now, I'm not telling you that. You are telling you that. Oh, that is so hard. It is so hard to do. There's a lot of things we need to say no to. The adversity of no. How do you tell yourself no? What do you need to tell yourself no to doing so that you can develop and grow? Oh man, there's some good ones in there. Oh, it's so good. This is Jim's house, baby. Welcome to Jim's house. A lot of you may know about Jim's house. Normally, you're seeing something like that, my feet. Posting in Jim's house, get out here every morning. That was something I had to tell myself no, by the way. I used to work out in the afternoons. I knew I needed to start doing morning workouts, smashing morning workouts. Guess what? Your boy's doing morning workouts. I had to tell myself, no, sir, you don't get to work out in the afternoon. I had to give myself a command and I had to execute it. I had to tell myself, no. Oh man, it is so hard. So, what do you need to tell yourself no to? What do you need to sacrifice? The law of sacrifice. The law of sacrifice states that in order to get something of a higher nature, you need to give up something of a lower nature. It's just the way it is. I didn't make up the rules. Take that beef up with God or whatever you believe. Take it up there. I just know it's there and I know that I got to work it, right? So for me, there's many things that I need to tell myself no to in order to level up. Now, this last month and a half, went in real hard into the workout, smashing them weights, getting after it, dialing my macros. That was a first time thing where I needed to start dialing my macros, trying to pack on the weight. Took it up 2,800 to 3,000 calories, packed on 10 pounds, got some of that plague weight back that I dropped last summer. That was cool, but I knew I was going to come up to something eventually, and it was going to require my full dedication, my full commitment, intention, and sacrifice. That's the other one. I was going to have to hear myself say no to me. And you got to do the same thing for you. You got to tell yourself no, because nobody's going to hold you accountable. There's nobody out there going to hold you accountable for your life and your results. It's you. Just you. You got to come and hold yourself accountable. So, I've got some very dumb stories about something that is my strength, one of my strengths, coming up against one of my weaknesses. Now, oh, this is so dumb. Anyway, one thing that has happened in my life that highlights some of this strength and weakness area is something that was trained into me, something that was developed within me, came from my very short and insignificant experience in the Marine Corps. I was trained. The Marine Corps took me, and it took that little switch that lives in the mind here that some people have. I don't know if it's everybody, but a lot of people have it, where you get out of comfort zone, you meet discomfort and adversity, and then you keep going towards like high pain threshold to like, oh dear God, make everything stop, please, I beg you, level. And they take that switch that's somewhere in there. They took it out of here, put it on the ground, smashed it, and it no longer exists in here. So one of my strengths is that I can endure and persevere and just continue on in the midst of physical adversity, pain, suffering, whatever else, to levels and degrees that others cannot. Not saying I'm better than everybody. I'm definitely far less than many other people, and I'm a little ahead of others. But for me, that is a strength of mine. Now, it has a price to pay. There is a weakness to that. And the weakness to that is not being able to say, no, sir, you have to stop going hard. Default hard, go, 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 smash, 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 right? I don't know how to rest. I legitimately don't know how to like stop and rest. I've had to train myself and tell myself, no, sir, you don't get to do this today. You have to do X. Now, probably one of the most ridiculous stories of my life. I don't know, I got a ton of those. But one thing that did happen to me, it was the second time I broke this bone right here. Now, doing it wasn't as dumb as the first time, but how I handled it the second time was dumber than the first time. So collectively, they just are one very stupid experience. I'm an idiot. So anyway, 2011, I'm getting in my truck. It's a Wednesday morning. I'm gonna go off to work, forget something upstairs. I'm a mess at this point in my life. So I get pissed off very easily about something very small and minute like that. So I just grab my truck door, slam the thing. Unfortunately, my hand is in the way and it like hits the knuckle here, like finger knuckle area, and it just snaps that sucker. So now I'm kind of extra mad because that's just default when I get any type of physical pain, I just get angry. So here I am. I'm very mad now. So run back upstairs, get what I need, hop in the truck, and priorities being priorities, you know, now that I broke my hand, I got to roast a bowl and I got to get very stoned. So I do that, I handle that business. Now I'm stoned and very, well, I'm calming down. I'm not as angry, but I'm still pissed off. And then I drive off to work. It's Wednesday morning because I got to work. I got to go to work, right? So now I get to work and I split my finger because I'm thinking clearly, obviously at this point. So I splint the finger and then I wrap my hand, which wasn't that smart because, you know, when something breaks, it swells. And so not too far later in the day, I'm in agony because the swelling is stretching inside of all this bandage tape that I have. So I got to cut that open. And then I'm basically playing games, trying to keep this thing stabilized while I'm working throughout the day. And I get home to my wife, who is not yet my wife at this point, but she's like, hey, guy, about your hand, because you're a moron and you need somebody with clarity to say something reasonable to you. Like, maybe you should go to the doctor. Maybe you should go to the emergency room. Nah, I'm good. I got this. Don't worry about this. I'm good to go. I'm straight. Thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, your hand is a balloon. Yeah, you're not okay, sir. You're not okay. You should probably go get that taken care of. And I'm like, hey, sweetie, I love you. I'm good though. I'm straight. I got it. We'll be fine. Thanks. Appreciate that. Okay. All right. You're a moron. So fast forward 2 days later on Friday, here I am and my wife's doing the same thing. She's like, hey, bozo, about your broken hand. You should probably go get that taken. And I'm like, you know, thanks. You're probably right. I get it now. I've calmed down and I'm going to go to the emergency room. She's like, good. So I go and, you know, the tech, sweet girl, doing the same thing my wife did to me, giving me the look, kind of like, okay, showing me the x-rays of my snapped bone. And she's doing a very professional job of doing the same thing my wife did to me, saying, hey, yeah, so, yeah, we're going to have to cut your hand open and do surgery because, you know, you need some screws to, like, take that bone and, like, you know, fuse it back together. You need some help. So we're going to help you that way, okay? Okay? You moron. Yeah, you're an idiot. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. It's good. So I'm going to go back to work. No, you're not. You're an idiot. You need help. So that was one very dumb experience amongst many different dumb experiences from this guy of not being able to say no and stop. In fact, I didn't even really rest through that whole thing. Once I got it wrapped up, casted, I was just, you know, guzzling painkillers and going. We're working. Yeah, baby, let's go. But that's my weakness. That's one of the things that I'm weak at is coming to rest and recovery. So circling back on this thing, your boy's been out in the gym, Jim's house, baby. We've been smashing it, month and a half. I know my body, so I know 6 weeks is about the plateau phase where I'm gassed and I need a break. So we're bringing in cut weeks. We're doing a cut phase now. And I knew this was coming up. I was planning for it. But I still got to face it, right? I still got to show up and tell myself, no, week 1, you're not smashing weights. No. Oh, body, by the way, I know you really like this, 3,000 calories almost that you're getting every day. That's slashed in about half now, maybe less than half. And you're not happy about that, I know. But you can't eat. You can't eat that. Sorry, body. No. No. Oh, okay. Could really use a plate of steak covered in potatoes, something of like substance for me to eat. Nah, I gotta cut weight. So I'm having to stretch things out like I haven't before. And that's very challenging because you're telling yourself no. It's very hard for me to show up on days where I just want to get it and I want to smash and get a pump or go hard. But knowing that I'm hey, today you're gonna get a run, you're gonna get some cardio and break a little sweat, and you're gonna stretch today because that's something that you love to do is low impact stretching and relaxing. And I know I'm being, kind of sarcastic. I am starting to enjoy it a little bit more. It's painful though. Stretching is painful, man. Especially if you're lifting weights and you know that your muscles are constricting, stretching sucks. But the point is what are you weak at? What? Not even that. What are you underdeveloped at? Where is your major strength? Because in it is a major weakness too. And you got to face it. You got to sacrifice. That something of a lower nature to develop and get that something of a higher nature. One of my mentors from afar, the great and powerful Bob Proctor, R.I.P. Anytime that man, I watched him on YouTube and tons of videos, anytime that man mentioned a book or an author, I learned this very early on. Anytime he mentioned a book or an author, I wrote it down and I went and found it. One of the most awesome books that I have found that he mentioned was a book called Working with the Law by Raymond Hollywell, 1939 original print. But Raymond Hollywell wrote this book called Working with the Law on these different laws, God's laws, if you will, universal laws, whatever you want to call it. But this book is so jam-packed with wisdom. I encourage you to read it. But chapter 10 is on what? The law of sacrifice. And he states it so perfectly in there. He says here, men everywhere are awakening to the necessity of disciplining their thoughts and acts. We train domestic animals carefully. We harness the forces of nature to serve us regularly and well. And yet, when it comes to ourselves, the most valued of all, we let our thoughts run wild. No one can attain his ambitions until he learns to discipline his mental force and is able to control his thinking. But furthermore, in all caps, at the bottom, the most important statement of all, something always has to be sacrificed for something else. In order to get something of a higher nature, you must sacrifice something of a lower nature. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to do it, and nobody's going to hold you to it. Guess who's going to hold you to it? Time to show up and be accountable, because you have to develop. You have to grow. It's going to happen no matter what. And if you aren't doing it, if you're running from it, if you're ignoring it, if you're hiding away from it, guess what? You will come under such intense pressure until you're broken into doing it. You will submit, because that's what life is about. It's about growth and expansion. So good luck with that. But hold yourself accountable. If you need some help, I'll be your accountability buddy. Hit me up. Shoot me a DM. Mention it in a comment. Throw it out to the world. Say, hey, this is what I'm struggling at, like I did in this video. And hold yourself accountable. Show up. Make those quality decisions. Act on those decisions. Commit. Give yourself an order. Execute it. Let's go. You can do it. Start with something simple and work it up. Let's go.